Hello, I wanted to do a video on the new politics, and I may have done this video before, but I'm gonna do the new politics, the new way politics are gonna be taking part. Um, if you look at the history, because I've been studying on my MP3 player while I ride my bike, like Roman emperors and stuff. And historically, politicians were very ruthless. Like like right now, a political death is a political death, but back in the past, political death and physical death, it was the same thing. They'd have to kill you because, if they didn't, then they'd kill you. So, I mean, Emperor Claudius was one of the more lenient, emperors, and he killed 33 senators and like 350 equestrians, like lower senators, I guess is what the equestrians are. So, like, yeah, pretty ruthless, and even up into modern times, killing. In third world countries, they probably still do the same thing. And so now it's like political death, like, anyway, people are really ruthless. And so being a politician, that's why people don't like politicians, because they're ready to get to the next level of politics, and people all know that you don't want to become the way that politics are is, you get elected by doing what you need to do to get elected. The goal is to get elected, just like a sports person, like people's sports is dependent on contract is dependent on whether they win. They care about winning. And in a war, you want to win the war. In the general, so like generals become presidents, like Eisenhower, Grant, and Napoleon. I mean, everybody, like, being a general is the same thing. And that's why Palin is an idiot. I mean, Palin, she's like, we don't need some lawyer from the ghetto. What this nation needs is a commander-in-chief. Why? Because we're a nation at war? Because we're invading all these other countries? She's divisive. And that's why she's never going to be president. And actually, Hillary Clinton is never going to be president either, because she is attached to the old paradigm of politics, where you do whatever you can to become to win the race. It's like a race, and you win. And so for that reason, I mean, if somebody's like an ex like general or an ex like professional athlete, I wouldn't want to vote for him for president, because they're under the paradigm of, the winner. It's all about winning, And I mean, one thing that really bothered me about what Hillary Clinton says is she's like, yeah, vote for me president because I know all of those foreign dignitaries, from when Bill was president, and it's like, what, we should vote for you just because you know them? What, so that next time you hang out with the president of so-and-so country, you can ride their other yacht, when they promised you next time you come, you will ride my other yacht? I mean, it's not an old boys network politics, it's whoever has the best ideas and the best vision and the most integrity. And so that's why she's never going to be president. And that's why I like Obama, because he's got the vision and he's doing the steps. And so anyways, the whole video is about the new politics as opposed to the old politics. And the basic difference between new politics and old politics is you do whatever you can do to win the race. So, you do the mudslinging, and we don't do that anymore so much. I mean, if you look in the history, people used to do some pretty crazy stuff. Like, one guy tried to like hypnotize people into voting for him. You will vote for me and not the others. He didn't win that one. It was like in the 50s. And then, I mean, just, like Watergate, the whole Watergate thing, like, it's like to win. And that's not what politics is about. And so that's how it's going to change. From now on, the people who win and the people who even get into politics and run to be president, they're going to run whether they think they can win or not. Like that guy, Ralph Nader. He would have been a great politician because he runs because he knows he has a vision. He knows what he wants to do to win. I mean, he knows what he wants to do, he knows what is the best thing for the country, so he runs, and he doesn't care if he wins or not. He just wants to spread his message. From now on in the future, the people who run for office are going to be the people like Ralph Nader, who run because they have a vision and they want to, running for president and spreading your vision and your idea are going to be the same thing. It's not going to be running for president to win. It's going to be running for president to give the people an opportunity to vote for what you represent. And so that's going to encourage a whole lot of people to vote. Now, as far as, campaign reform, that's probably another video, but with the internet and, the age of information, people aren't going to need all that money. People are just going to, people aren't ready for that yet, but in the near future, people are going to just look at who's the guy who's voting. They're going to check out what they're all about, and, naturally they're going to win. So they're not going to need all of the money to win, because all of the exposure, the media exposure, is going to get fractalized, and it's going to get people are going to become more independent minded and just look at the person and check them out, instead of want to vote for somebody because they see their ad on the TV all the time. And I would encourage somebody like me to run. I'd like to run for president, not to win. See, from now on, the politicians who run for president aren't going to run to win. They're going to care less if they win or not. And that's one thing I like about Jesse Ventura. He's like, yeah, I'm happy just surfing in Mexico. I don't care about being. Of course, he should have run because, I guess that was a little different. But basically, people are going to run. But if they don't win, they don't care, because the people didn't want them, and whatever. The people weren't ready for them, but at least they did their part by running for president. I remember Robert Kennedy said something really interesting, really something that I respect, and he would have made a great president, because he said, I'm running for president because it's my duty, because I know I would be a good president, and so therefore, obviously, I have to run for president, So if somebody feels like they'd be a good president, and they have a good idea and everything, they run. But they have integrity. That's basically what new politics is all about: integrity. They'll express what they believe. They'll share what their ideas are, and that's it. And if they don't win, they don't care, because they get to, at least they can live their life afterwards, after losing, knowing that they tried, they did their part. They gave the people the opportunity to vote for them, and the people rejected them. And so whatever. They don't care. Because at the end of the day, you're going to have a more exciting life anyways if you're not president. Presidents, they work a lot. Maybe George Bush didn't, but it's stressful. You have to deal with a lot of responsibility. There's lots of risk and consequences and stuff. And, with a country with a good GDP, where you can, especially people who run for president probably have good jobs anyways, they can go skiing, they can hang out, they can live a good life. And not being president, there's a lot to be said for not being the president, you know what I mean? So I think from now on, it's going to be integrity, and that should encourage people to run for president. Just for the sake of expressing their, every 4 years or every 2 years when people run, it's not all about voting for who's going to win, but it's about reevaluating what all of the options for the future and what all of the political issues are, and to bring the people together to decide what they want, and they would vote on the person who they want. So that's what new politics is going to be all about, and it's going to be it's already there now. We voted for the guy who had the vision. I think Ron Paul would have made a better president than Obama. But Obama's good. I'm very happy with Obama. But an independent, I think we're ready. I would not be surprised if the next president is independent or the president after next. We're about to hit a big change. That's my prediction. And anyways, I'm out of time. But new politics is all about integrity, and that's why actors like Palin and ruthless people like Clinton, Hillary are not going to be president. Integrity. Okay, that's it.